And guys, I want to continue on this trend a little bit. How do we feel about pre-order windows? Because this is something that I feel like might be controversial just because of what happened with the first Joker, with the Joker, the Dark Knight version, the first figure they did. Because with that one, it was a 3-day window. They reopened the window. With this one, I haven't been able to get in touch with John about this yet. So I'm really not sure whose rule this is. I know as far as Kit goes, Kit has a 3-day pre-order window for this. So I think it ends either tonight at midnight or tomorrow at midnight. And it ends soon, right? It's a 3-day window. So how do we feel about this with InArt? Do we care? You know, because the last time some people felt a little bamboozled, like they thought they were getting something exclusive, then it wasn't. I don't know if this is a retailer thing, like I said, but how do we feel about this in general, Leo? What do you think?
I mean, if
Do you
they,
care at all?
I don't really care, to be quite honest, but I mean, I can see where people where it be cause for concern, because the thing is, it's like, what if you're, you pre-order this figure within that window, but say for instance, you did it, it was an impulse, type of situation based on the simple fact that you didn't think it was going to be available. You know what I mean? And maybe that $50 was the only $50 you actually had to last for a week until you got paid. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's when it's cause for concern, especially if you do that and then you see there's another run, or there's an open, or they open a window back up to get more pre-orders. You know what I mean? That's when I think it becomes a concern and it becomes a problem. You know what I mean? Um, Again, I've always, erred on the side that I don't even think they should do these 3-day windows. Literally, I can understand why they do, but just, I don't know. Just say that there's a limited quantity or something like that. You have to get in and whatever. I would actually take that a bit more. But a 3-day window, it's like, can we believe that there's an actual 3-day window, especially
Right.
when you have that, but then you have companies like a Toys Wonderland that will put these figures back up and they're still available. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, you know what? I don't know if that's valid at that point. And for somebody who, again, isn't, as financially stable at this point, you're just dropping $50 on something like that. I don't know. It could be a problem. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so too, bro. And for me, yeah, that's why I asked John. I was like, hopefully he can answer me and I can give some clarity to people. I'm like, why would you
Yeah.
guys put this on a 3-day window, considering what
Yeah.
happened last time? Maybe it wasn't them, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
Dean, what do you think, bro? Do you take any issue with the 3-day window? Do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Leo. Leo, sorry, I don't know why I said it like that. About the it's just a very short amount of time to maybe come up with the money. I know $60 probably isn't a lot for most people, but sometimes shit happens.
Right.
Mhm.
Got a flat tire, you had a fucking medical expense, something, some shit always, right? Life finds a way. So I think 3-day windows are very annoying. I think it'd be
Mhm.
nicer to have maybe like a couple months,
Mhm.
right? And I understand there is a need for a window because if you just leave it open, then you know, I don't know. I guess that's bad. I actually don't see a problem with just leaving it open. I mean,
Even yeah.
you could pre-order Hot Toys up until they come out.
Mhm.
So I guess it keeps it limited, which is probably the goal. But I mean, that just seems like such a short amount of time to. It's like, hey, guess what? Surprise! I mean, we just saw that with the asthma scanned off the white, and that figure just came out. It wasn't even a pre-order. It was like it's out, and then you had like a second to buy it before it sold out. I was like, what? Where am I supposed to come up with that kind of money?
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, it's a little. I think it's very annoying, but like I also get it. I guess
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
my point.
Yeah.
I could take it or leave it, to be honest.
Yeah. And I think that's the common sentiment. What do you think, Ben?
I don't hate it. I think one of the challenges I've had is not knowing what the rules of engagement always are, especially when you're looking at multiple companies for these types of pre-orders. I'm okay with the pre-order window, whether it's 3 days or like Dean said, like give it a month or two. If they were going to give us that window, though, I'd like to see them give us more of like a batch or like collection
Mhm.
size number, like an edition size. There's 5,000 being made. Here's your 2 month window. We're letting you now, maybe 3 weeks before the window opens. Like, advertise your window, stick to your window, give us an edition size, and close the window. We'll recognize that resellers might still be able to get their hands on this and sell it again, even if the collecting window closes from the official site. Fine, we can understand that. But I've had the same issue even with Star Trek figures or Exo-6 figures. You know, they just had their Kirk release from the motion picture and their Spock from the motion picture recently come out. And they didn't tell us how many they were going to make. They didn't tell us exactly when the window was opening. And then within like 6 hours of the window opening through Exo-6, it was gone. Like 3 hours, all the figures were sold out. Other companies have started getting them, and collectors are getting notices to say, sorry, your order's being refunded. We didn't get as many as we expected. And so again, like the rules are not very clear. I think if InArt's going to stick with the pre-order window, just again, give us at least an approximation of how many you're going to make, and then that be it. Keep it limited, because I think you mentioned it, Will, that you had somebody streaming with you the other day, who I can't remember who it was, but they were saying they're a retailer, and they were saying that they had cancellations after the Joker window opened back up again because they didn't feel like it. Spec, because they didn't feel like it was limited anymore. And like, I can appreciate that. There are collectors that'll buy if something is limited and the rules of engagement are clear. But when we get kind of mixed messaging and stuff like that, that's what ends up being frustrating. So I think we've all been feeling a little burned on this. I know with the Joker, again, I was up till about 2:30 in the morning that first 3-order window day, trying to decide if I was going to justify $1,000. Like, that's, or like 1,500 Canadian once I get it in hand. Like, that's a lot of money for figures. I felt this great pressure to press the button, even though at that time I wasn't totally financially ready to make that commitment. And I did anyways, because it's my favorite character. And then that window opened back up again, or perceivably, and people felt burned by it, including myself. So make the rules really clear, stick to the rules. If you're going to do that, I think it'll be a better experience, and people will know, you know, for themselves if they want to justify it in their collection otherwise.
Right. And I think it might even take maybe a post from InArt clarifying whether the 3-day window is them or whether it's the retailers or what the deal is. Because I think some people, like you said, Ben, are confused. And I think maybe they're concerned about the Joker because that one got reopened and then they don't really trust InArt. And it's like, you know, I think you got to be careful. That said, look at the articulation on this figure. Because damn, like,
right.
I know it's a total side note, but I look at this photo layout, you're going to be happy if you get this, bro. Because look at how you compose this
Posing
thing.
master,
Like,
100%.
Yeah, there's
It's
a lot
amazing.
that you can do. There's definitely a lot that you can do. You know, went to speech. The only question I would actually have with it again, because we know that was addressed even with Joao, is the magnetic base. And you know what you would have to, because again, we know that, you know, it's stationary in the middle of the actual stand. So, you know, articulation wise, I don't know what you would try to accomplish, but this piece, I mean, it looks so good. Like, it really, really, really does. In my opinion, it's well worth it, man. It is.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I just think it's pretty remarkable.